I suffered from a sickness known as Steven Johnson syndrome. Now, what that does is I took a drug for malaria. So I had malaria and wanted to cure the malaria, but the content in that drug rather caused me to fall sick.
Turn around. Turning point. Yeah. He's a turn around. Hello and welcome to Springboard, your virtual university. My name is Albert Ocran. Welcome you to Ghana's foremost developmental program and that place where the greatest minds in the world converge. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Rocher Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Today we continue our Thinkathon series marking Springboard at 17, and it's all about the power of ideas. What are we doing? Bringing thinkers from various areas of endeavor, academia, business, industry, the arts, technology, social thinkers and engagers, just to reflect on the good society. How can we become a better version of ourselves? And I'm so blessed today to have a man who believes that vision surpasses sight. We are honored to bring you the extraordinary tale of triumph over adversity. The man who is a visually impaired scholar from Pram Pram, who became the first student to achieve a grade point or FGPA of 4.0. Let me say it again, 4.0 in February 2025 at the University of Ghana. The man, Ephraim Oracca-Tetteh. Ephraim, good to see you.
Good to see you, Rev.
What a blessing. Is that allowed to clap? Let me clap for you.
Thank you very much.
Tremendous achievement.
Thank you very much, Reverend.
How does it feel to be on the mountaintop?
I'm tempted to say I'm happy. But I guess when you reach the mountaintop, you tend to see other mountains you now have to climb as well. So there's more duties ahead.
For many people, the achievement of a 4.0 FGPA is a phenomenal achievement in its own right. The first time in the University of Ghana, my alma mater, in over a decade. That is a record in itself. But permit me to add that coming from a visually impaired person makes it extra sweet in terms of what it took. How much of you did it take to achieve such a great feat?
Maybe on a scale of 1 to 100, I would say maybe 50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Okay. Maybe someone would think that maybe I should probably have always been studying or so dedicated to my books as in the 100% of it, where I don't have time for other things. But that's not the case. I equally had time to engage in any other thing I wanted to. So that's why I would say 50%. The only unique thing for me would be, so maybe I would touch on that whilst on my story, but the only thing unique for me was that I learned how to learn, in quote. So that's what made it easier for me to go along the journey with that 50%, so to say.
For the benefit of everyone who is just trying to wrap their minds, even when I say visually impaired, I still think some people can't relate. Let me go back to how it all began. Growing up, what kind of person were you?
Okay. So growing up, I was normal Alajo boy, as stubborn as I was, climbing walls, playing football, doing all that. I did that, so I went to Faith Christian Academy, which is at Kotubabi. So the neighboring environments around Alajo is Newtown and Kotubabi. So these are areas I
know
went
those
to
places very well from my printing days.
Newtown is one place known for printing.
Printing.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I did my church is also at Newtown. So I played within these environments. So I went to school at Faith Christian Academy. completed there. But somewhere at the age of 10, whilst I was in class 5, that was when I suffered from a sickness known as Steven Johnson syndrome. Now, what that does is I took a drug for malaria. So I had malaria and wanted to cure the malaria, but the content in that drug rather caused me to fall sick. So that's what resulted. So what happens
Was it
is,
self-prescribed?
yes, I would say so. So it was
Okay.
by a pharmacy though. What happens is that your upper skin is like allergies, but a heightened from where your skin is sort of falling off or peeling off the lower skin.
Wow.
So that was what happened. I had to be admitted at Kolebu for about a month. I think the whole of December, which people were enjoying and having fun, I was in Kolebu. That was 2010, if memory serves me right. So fast forward, I came back to school. I missed the whole term. I came back to school and I couldn't see that well. So
And at age 10?
yeah. So friends would help me, teachers would help me along the way. I managed to finish Faith Christian Academy. So I did crèche to JHS3 all at the same school, and then went on to St. Thomas Aquinas. Did 3 years there. Went on to KNUST, did 1 year.
In your time at Aquinas, were you seeing partially or you were not seeing at all?
I would say partially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was the learning then? Were you able to manage by yourself?
To a large extent, but once again, friends were helping. So I remember most of my sitting partners, they were literally my best friends. And Jude Cranton, who would read what's on the board, then I would then write it in my notes. Sometimes he would have to copy the notes himself, then later I get it and write it. But what it means is I would really literally bury my head in the book trying to scribble down any notes that he's taken. So that was some of the challenges. And
what's the favorite subject then?
the ironic thing was I was doing visual arts, and that seemed like, well, you have an eye problem, so why should you be doing a course that is actually visual? But since childhood, I think KG, I was so good at drawing, or I was so good in the arts, creativity when it comes to things that are creative. So I just wanted to do visual arts. I did that in St. Thomas Aquinas, like you mentioned, and with that, I managed to still go through, regardless of what challenging situation I found myself, and I managed to still go through, and hopefully came out. I think the bad grade I had was in core maths, but my favorite subject doing visual arts was GKA, which is General Knowledge in Arts. So it covers topics from all the art history related and some other areas within in different continents as well, arts within different continents.
Then you went to KNUST.
Yeah.
Tell me about KNUST. What course were you doing?
Again, I went to do painting and sculpture.
Easy.
So the dream was to become an artist, a professional artist, and hopefully be a lecturer within that field and start a business related to the arts. So maybe import art materials, because Ghana uses, the art students within or anybody doing art uses lots of art materials. So that was the journey, the third journey I had for doing that. So first year, second year, second semester. And the art in KNUST is very intense.
Yes.
Yes. So I did my best. I think within the first year I came out. KNUST, they use a marking, let me say, a grading standard known as the CWA, which is cumulated weighted average, unlike UG, which uses the grade point average. So an A is 70 above, and I still made above the 70, even in my first year. Went on to second year, somewhere within the first semester, I realized my sight, it was bad, but it seemed it was getting worse. So I now had to defer the course I was doing there.
What do you think caused it? Was it the learning? Was it triggered by close contact with your book? Did you know?
Till now I can't wrap my head around it, because I maybe straining of the sight too much, because I wanted to be the best of myself. So I made sure in terms of executing assignments, even personal works I was just doing my best at it. Sometimes it will go deep into the night and all. So maybe those things were part. But so now I can't really wrap my head around it.
Walk us through the emotion of experiencing, was it
Yeah.
gradual deterioration of your sight, even from a place of partial sightedness? Walk us through the emotion of literally seeing it go and what it did to you.
Um so I remember often I would go to class, if for nothing, when the signing list comes around, I would have been able to sign, but it got to the point where I couldn't see the names. So it means I would then let someone sign for me, write my name and sign. And that made me feel, powerless, so to say. I didn't feel I was contributing in any way. You'd go to the class and maybe there is something for you to draw. At first, I would get closer, look at it, come back and come and sit and sketch it out. These are all processes you are taking through. I think that's called still life drawing.
Okay.
So even that I wasn't able to do. I would get close, but I was still unable to see that. Now I now had to tell my parents that, hey, this is what's happening. And
Do you have siblings?
yeah,
I mean,
they are older than I am.
you're the last one.
Yeah. So the first one is hopefully she'll be doing. She's done with her doctorate now, and the second one is a nurse. So that's the backside to them. I remember I had to go. Inform my parents, and I had to go look for the counselor at the College of Arts. That's in KNUST. And when I talked to her, she was telling me I should just inform them. But I knew what that could do to my mom, especially. So I was just scared of informing them about deferring the
You
course.
weren't worried about yourself?
Um, maybe I was, but I was more concerned about them because she's been through a lot since all these things started in class 5. So I just didn't want her to face this again. Finally, I had to tell my dad, who gradually told. Even in the long run, I still went on to tell my mom about it, and she was cool. She said my sight is far important than me trying to, the education to some extent. So let me find the solution to my sight first. If I'm ready to go back to school, then I do so. So that was what happened. That's some of the emotional stuff. I remember crying before a lecturer, telling him, explaining him what exactly I was going through. And he was asking me, what's keeping me? I remember I sang a song for him, and then I didn't even know the lyrics of the song. That my faith has found a resting place.
I need an argument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's transpired that day. And a big thanks to all those who supported me. I still have friends from KNUST who I still have that friendship with. So all thanks to each one of them as well.
Wow. So you deferred the course officially.
Yeah.
And walked out of KNUST. Did you think you go back there again?
Yeah, I thought I would.
What happened next?
So I sought medical attention, went to a number of hospitals trying to see what could be done. I think at one of them, they said it's possible to work it out. They'll do what is called a cornea transplant. So the covering on the eye is what seems rough, and it is for that sake. Maybe they want to change the cornea, so it would mean they would put something like an artificial cornea on the eye, and that would make you see through better. But the complication is that it's a 50-50 chance. So once it doesn't work, it means you are losing your sight if it's successful. But the eye equally comes with what I went through from the Stephen Johnson. It comes with its own complications. So for instance, my lashes, they don't grow outward, but they grow towards the eye. So it would mean consistent, what they call epilation. You have to take out the lashes so that they don't rub over the cornea. So I thought of it for a while. Told my mom, I mean, I've seen people go through school without necessarily having sight. So let me opt for that. Try seeing if that will equally work for me. So that was when I went to Ghana Blind Union. That's Accra Rehabilitation Center. And that was where um, I got to learn how to use the computer to study, to read. Uh, I loved reading, and no, I mean, I lost my sight. I couldn't read anymore. So once I was introduced to reading back in at that place, I knew there's still hope for me.
Who introduced and supported you in that venture?
Okay, so there's a man called Mr. Brinya. So he was the first person I went to meet the day I went there. So Mr. Brinya told me to come the next month so that there'll be a training session there. So I think I also met Mr. Peter, as you mentioned,
Yeah, Peter
equally there.
Obiasamoah,
Samoa,
Dr.
exactly.
Obiasamoah, yeah.
Yeah. And then I
Big
met,
friend of the show.
I
He's been
see,
here a few times.
I see. A number of people, Mr. Abuchi,
Okay.
Master Alex Bankole, all these people contributed to me learning there. And I think there was a woman who gave me her library of books. So as for her, I wouldn't forget. That's Nina Okrafor. She literally gave me the book. I thought I was done reading. I couldn't read anymore. I remember before I had to defend the course, I had bought about 3 books I wanted to read. And I would go to the library and bury my head inside. And I wasn't seeing it.
Wow.
So when she gave me a library of books, I found these 3 books in there. And I was just so excited.
The exact 3 books you had bought.
Exactly. I saw each one of them in her library.
Tell me about faith in God. Tell me about seeing the books you had bought literally replicated. So these ones were in Braille or something? Or you were using forgive my ignorance.
No
so
worry.
these you were reading with assistive technology?
Sure.
Okay. Tell me about them.
So it's the norm that, let's say, anybody who doesn't see should probably be able to use a Braille or read a Braille. But with technology, it's like that gap has been breached. So technology is what we call assistive technology, but specifically what they call screen readers.
Okay.
So there is often one on every laptop known as narrator.
Okay.
Maybe some phones have that. They call it talkback. So it reads everything on your screen for you.
So ebooks.
Exactly. Okay. So those ebooks were what I was referring to. Okay. So they were within her library, and I got to reread those books. I think one was 48 Laws of Power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then there was one by John Lambden. I've forgotten the titles, but yeah, these were some of the books, and then Mastery.
How did you end up in the great University of Ghana, Legon?
Okay, so right after the training at
Ghana Blind Union,
exactly, I knew there was a possibility based on the experience I was now having. I could read now. I could. So it meant I couldn't see with my eyes, but then I had to train myself to listen more. So now I could listen to the books being read. And with that, I managed to now have an understanding. I know I read a thing, I understand it. If I want to execute or answer questions to it, I can. So once that was set and I applied to University of Ghana, Legon, got in. So the process of they taking a person with disability, you'd have to come for an interview. I went for the interview. They'll check what exactly is wrong with you. They cross-checked, and yeah. I remember I was sitting by a friend who asked, so what do you want to come and do here? Like, what courses? It's like, I have no idea. All I'm coming here to do is I'm coming to school.
Get a degree.
Yeah. So that's what I told him. He told me, okay, then when I go out, you tell him I want political science, philosophy and classics, and archaeology. I said, okay, if I want to do law or maybe go into lecturing, those courses are easy for me to do and then go through. It's like, okay. I went there after they checked and everything. Then they said they are giving me political science philosophy. I said, okay, then that's fine.
Political science, philosophy,
And classics and
classics.
archaeology.
Which one was your favorite subject?
I'll say philosophy.
If you hadn't said that, you'd have walked out of the studio. I loved philosophy.
Yeah.
I did economics, sociology, and philosophy, and I really loved the philosophy.
Yeah.
Right. So you went on to do 4 subjects?
Yeah. So I think over time they lumped philosophy and classics together.
Okay.
So it's one, yeah. So in your first year, second year, you do both. Then at some point you even drop one, which is what I did was to drop the classics. But some people continue with classics.
Okay.
So yeah, I did. Philosophy is the best course because
Totally underrated, but a very good
yeah,
precursor to being a thinker.
Exactly.
So tell me about your experience of learning at Legon, going for lectures, learning, and then the social part of it.
Okay. So learning in general, it would mean I would be using my laptop or computer to do the learning. So within a room or within the library, I'll take my laptop there, listen.
So during lectures, you went to your
notes.
laptop always?
No, I didn't always do that. Maybe once a while I take it. I'll just go and listen, but often I'll inform the lecturer I would like to record the class. So I put my recorder on maybe on my phone, and then as he's talking, I record the class. Later I can go and play it back and listen, make notes out of it. But I hardly even did that.
Which hall were you in?
I started off at Commonwealth Hall.
That's also another thing that you pass the test with. Which block?
So, yeah, A block.
A block.
Later they moved us to the B.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did 2 years there. The boys went to Warrington, so later they had to move us to diaspora. Okay. So I now went to Hillary Man for also 2 years as well. So yeah, that's learning.
So you'll move from Commonwealth Hall to the lecture. Where were you going for lectures?
JQB predominantly. JQB. So you move from the top, if you know Legon.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. So were you supported by colleagues, or you managed to figure out the distance?
I was. A big thanks to some friends, Teresa. I remember I would go for evening classes, and Teresa wants to go to church. And I'm also telling her to take me to my hall, and she'll be complaining, So that's Teresa, Erica, a number of friends who really helped. I'm so grateful to them as well.
How big is a network in achieving your dreams?
I think it's very important, because you may never know who is helping, who might help. So it's I would say it's foundational in every dream, any dream you want to achieve. People would open doors for you.
We've mentioned Aquinas, we've mentioned KNUST, you've mentioned Legon, and the Ghana Blind Union. And in all these 4 points in your life, it's clear that people were key. The right people around you were key to your progress. I'm going to go for a break. When I come back, let's talk about the mountaintop. A person in Legon learning like everybody else, but with a significant impairment, and how you manage to get on top of the ladder, and what that means for your life going forward, and everything in between. This is Springboard, your virtual university. Today's edition of Thinkathon is a very special one. We are beyond celebrating Ephraim Oracca-Tetteh. We also are celebrating the endless possibilities open to a person with disability. If you choose not to look at what is confronting you, but to look at what God has made you and who you can become, if you choose to live out your life to the very highest. The man says getting a grade point average of 4.0 only used half his capacity. Our friends, especially Adelaide the Seer, Dr. Peter Obiasamoah. Let me greet Baino Ayoni, who sent me a text this morning and said, may people never stop me from seeing the power of the possibilities that lie within me. And it's just a dedication to all of you out there watching this Thinkathon conversation with Ephraim Oracca-Tetteh. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Ratio Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a partnership between the MasterCard Foundation and Springboard. Our media partners, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News TV, the Springboard channel, and the Graphic Communications Group. Let's go for a break. When we come back, how do you navigate to the top of the mountain in the face of extreme adversity? Please don't go away.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
No stress. Submit your insurance claim online in just seconds on the Claims Express portal. Simply upload your national ID, cost estimates, pictures, and more to get started. Submit online, track progress, and get paid fast. Skip the paperwork and get back on the road with ease. Visit claimexpress.enterprisegroup.net.gh for easy claims and quick payouts with absolutely no stress.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Watch out for a brand new series to celebrate the 17th anniversary of Springboard, your virtual university. It's dubbed Thinkathon, the power of ideas. This series aims to bring together modern Ghanaian thinkers from business, education, the clergy, and governance to discuss vital issues to promote intellectual leadership and suggest solutions to Ghana's development. With host Reverend Albert Ocran.
Action for me now. Countdown. Let's go.
On Nkrumah's birthday, 21st September, we reimagine Ghana's democracy and development with Yao Nsako, a former corporate titan who turned fierce critique of broken systems, including what he calls the Santa Claus democracy.
Today, in your village, somebody born into a madhouse, can they become Reverend Albert Ocran in one lifetime? That's the question we must ask ourselves. And if they cannot, then what we are saying is that we have built a Santa Claus democracy in which the poor will remain poor, give birth to the poor, and their poor children will keep giving birth to the poor.
Don't miss any of these episodes on Springboard, your virtual university, on Sundays at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM and Springboard channel on YouTube. On Joy News, it's at 9 p.m. It is Thinkathon, the power of ideas.
Learn something new every week and be inspired by innovations, impact, and success stories of individuals making strides in the agricultural, agribusiness, technical, and vocational skill sectors on Ghana Grows Ejuma with Araba Kumsin and Yabitha. Join us this and every Thursday on Facebook at 7 p.m. at Ghana Grows, also at Comfort Ocran A and at Albert N.E. Ocran. On Fridays at 4 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM and on Sundays at 5:45 p.m. on TV3. Ghana Grows is an initiative of MasterCard Foundation in partnership with the Springboard Roadshow Foundation. If you are a young person and you want to be a part of our various interventions, call or WhatsApp Ghana Grows call center on 0308 255 775. Follow us on all our social media handles. Ghana Grows Ejuma. Hope Day.
Welcome back to Springboard, your virtual university, and to this incredible conversation with Ephraim Oracca-Tetteh, the man who scored 4.0 FGPA the best graduating student of the University of Ghana in the last academic year, and he stands on top of the mountain, being visually impaired and reminding us that your vision is bigger than your sight. Let me quote from Helen Keller, who says the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. And that is something that Ephraim is saying, the vision, it is bigger than the sight. Well, Steve Wonder, who many of us know here in Ghana, says, I have a dream that is worth more, much more than my sight. These are the thoughts of people who have navigated similar adversities or impairments and gone on to do big things with their lives. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Rocher Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program. Let me give you some tips first from the Enterprise Group that is reminding you about the need for a personal pension plan. They say you can simply enhance your retirement benefits with a PPP. This plan offers you the opportunity to grow your retirement income using living a comfortable retirement lifestyle as a result. This is brought to you by the Enterprise Group. The number to call 030-263-4777. Email info@myenterprisegroup.io. Enterprise, your advantage. The Ghana Growth Program would like to give you this number as your favorite number, especially if you are a young person, especially a young woman, looking for opportunities in the areas of agriculture, agribusiness, ATVET. Just save this number, 030-8255-775. When you call or WhatsApp, tell them what is new on Ghana Growth. You will find out either a career clinic is going on, Empower 360 is going on. They will send you regular SMS messages about latest trends in the industries and so much more that you can be a part of. Don't miss out on Ghana Growth, the biggest thing happening in this country right now. Just save this number and get in touch. You can also be updated regularly on what is happening in the system, the ecosystem, by subscribing to the Springboard channel on YouTube. It will show you back copies or editions or episodes of this virtual university. Talking about episodes, if you haven't subscribed to the Albert Ocran podcast yet, please do, because you can literally listen to the Springboard virtual university editions from 2008 when it all began 17 years ago. Don't miss editions like Pastor Mensaltable, Archbishop Charles Gabriel Palmer-Buckle, Dr. Ishmael Yamson, Bishop James Sarr, and many more that will really inspire you and give you the impetus to pursue your dreams. Let's turn our attention to a business we want to promote today as part of our virtual university. And today we are looking at Ace Rabbit Farms. Ace Rabbit Farms is one of the largest rabbit farms in Accra. We provide high quality rabbit meat and breeding services. So you want to patronize Ace Rabbit Farms, and the number to call them on is 020-403-0897. Buy from them and buy made in Ghana. Ephraim, you're back. So Legon, it was.
Sure.
Commonwealth Hall and later Liman, it was.
Yeah.
Lectures supported by great friends on your way in and out, it was. Learning by yourself with assisted technology. When you started seeing your results, I'm sure you didn't get to the 4.0 at the last minute. You saw it coming right from the beginning.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind as you saw the results coming and they were good and it was getting better by the day? Tell me the journey and how you reflected on the academic results you were generating.
Okay. Let me start from here. So I think before going to Legon, I don't know, just a random feeling. I thought of just thinking through how my journey at Legon would be. So I was on my bed thinking or visualizing it, and I visualized, like, let's say a program where people were clapping and I was climbing the stage to shake the hands of the vice chancellor. The second one I dreamt about or I tried visualizing was starting a business on campus. Well, that didn't happen, but the first one happened. So fast forward first year, I saw my results. I knew it was good, but I realized the input I was putting into the learning was maybe too much. So, and then, like I said, I finished school somewhere 2017, and this is 2021. You are going back to school. It looks like I'm an older person compared to the people around me. So, in essence, I thought of maybe I should find out how to learn better. So that was what I did, and the stress came down a bit. So
So in the
first year,
program you went, did you go for
exactly.
a program for how did you learn how to learn better?
I read books, more than 100 books on how to learn. So that was what helped.
Tell me a bit more about it.
Okay. So it's everybody has the what I'll call to some extent the natural mind or natural brain, but there's a way of using your imagination to learn, and that one is more of a trained brain. So on the average level, if I take a test with someone and I'm using my natural brain, I wouldn't be able to, I'm sure I might do worse than some other person, but with a trained brain, I'll do better. What are some of the things involved in the training? I think we use some of them. So some of them is like chunking. So when they say chunking, let's say a contact number, you would realize sometimes they split it up. So 024, then there's a space, then maybe 212, then another space. Instead of taking everything in a go, it has been chunked for you, and it makes it easier for you to consume and to remember it. So that's one way.
So you chunk the things yourself,
Exactly.
intentionality in being able to literally
Exactly.
masticate it, as it were. Okay.
So even on the broader scale, it's done as well, as in the whole learning process. So there's equally that chunking bit. What happens there is, let's say you want to learn for 4 hours, but you would go and sit by the book in the aim of learning 4 hours straight at a go. But that becomes a headache because maybe by an hour or 30 minutes, you begin to feel tired. But what happens is, if you should block it out, maybe I do 40 minutes of learning and I take 20 minutes break to do any other thing I want to do. Then I come back to do another 40 minutes, take 20 minutes break. You are rewarding yourself as well as doing the learning. So in the long run, you can do your 4 hours, maybe even more, but knowing that you have breathing space rather than sitting at a go and exhausting yourself. So
my famous lawyer friend says he, even till now in his late 50s, he still does 55 minutes of work every time and then 5 minutes of Facebook. So if you see him on Facebook and you think he's sitting there all day, he comes to read what people have said and then you start a fight and then go back to his work. So he's working and you think he's arguing with you on Facebook. Oh, so you call that chunking, and you're saying that allows you to reward yourself with that 5 minutes of fun for the 55 minutes of learning, and then you go back to learning again.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So there are equally others. This what they call the mind palace. So you take a space you know so well. So let's say this space. And I feel that those ones are good for orators, anybody who does public speaking and all, maybe without a presentation or stuff like that. You have an idea of how your room, maybe at home, looks like. You select maybe 5 places within the room.
Okay.
And every topic you're going to talk about, you place like a physical concept of that topic on there.
Wow.
So you are talking to me, maybe asking me the question. Maybe my first location, I have my conception of Jesus Christ coming through my door.
My Sunday sermon, this is the movement. You see 5 locations and 5 parts of the sermon. Stay on it. Okay.
So he comes through the door. Maybe my second location, what do I put there? Maybe a ship that has an anchor.
Okay.
So my first location, I tell you about Jesus Christ. I'm asking you, what's your religious background like? What's that? So that fulfills the first door, which is he coming through the door. The second one is maybe the ship. So how do you find your anchor within the space of Christianity? Then your third location, you put another concept that represents that. So I do this for literally, or I did this for most of my courses, even logic as well. I don't know how, but I managed to still infuse it in the mathematical bits of my courses as well. So you find locations, and it can even be done on your body as well. So maybe we should use an example of a man called Tony Buzan. So Tony Buzan makes a suggestion that there is not just one type of intelligence, what we call the intelligence quotient, but there are other forms of intelligence. And he makes a list of them. For me to remember it, I have it on my body, and that helps me recall. So he has creative, which I can see on my foot. Maybe I'm painting counters on my toes or my nails. So that's creativity. So creative intelligence. I come here, I see maybe a wallet or a purse. That's personal intelligence. Just creating some connections between.
Did your artistic background orientation influence your adaptation of this method of learning?
I'll say yes. But I believe everybody can. There are a few people who find it hard to imagine, but everybody has imagination.
So pushing that forward, so then your results began to show and they were good.
Yeah.
And then what next?
So it goes beyond, let's say, just memorization. Now, I realized even in analysis, I could do analysis better. I would read philosophical works, and it's like you have a mental picture of everything. So you know that this thing is inconsistent with the pattern I'm probably seeing. So it played a major role in.
Do you think we should change the way we educate people?
I think so.
Because your visual impairment aside, I mean, these are assets that everyone can benefit from, especially some people that have learning challenges. I have a feeling this could revolutionize their lives. Why not on adapting this on a mass scale? Why not?
There's a question almost all the authors I read keep putting across, because it's like these things are ancient. As far back as 2,000 years ago, these things were there. And it looks like the knowledge is there, but yet still our education system is not really letting it sink through. So honestly, I can't really tell why it's not being adapted. Maybe partly because of the idea of what they call rote learning. So rote learning is when you are repeating consistently.
Chewing baba.
Exactly. Now, to some level, you would see that equally links to rote learning, but it doesn't. Why? Because one, it's training your imagination for you to be creative. Like I said, it's improved my analysis of issues as well. And maybe to top up, there is definitely a distinction when it comes to how the curriculum is now to back then. At first, they wouldn't encourage you to do rote learning. And they would encourage you to do more of rote learning. But now they are trying to shift from rote learning. But there is nothing you can do that doesn't involve memory. If I've been taught in class to maybe theory as a medical student, I definitely need that memory or need to have that idea if I go to the practical space. So fine, memory is being taken out, but this would allow people to easily use memory to assist them in any other thing they do. So maybe, I don't know why it's not being adapted.
Let's go on to your graduation, that big day.
Yeah.
How did you feel? You dreamt about it.
Yeah.
Let me give you a quote. Before we even go to the graduation, let me give you a quote. Jonathan Swift, he says, vision is the art of seeing what's invisible to others. So you, before you went to Legon, saw what no one else could see, that there will be a day you stand on the stage and shake the vice chancellor's hand.
Sure.
That day happened. How did you feel?
Let me say it happened 3 times.
Okay.
In my I was in 3rd year, and there was an award ceremony. And I think the award for the best continuing student within UG. So during that award ceremony, I saw those who had graduated at the time. They received their awards and all. And I got an award then. Now I think I received a handshake from one lecturer from the education department. I was like, my dream hasn't come true, but I know it would happen someday. Fast forward, on the day of graduation, I think it was the chancellor herself that was there, and I shook her. Later, it was arranged for me to actually meet the vice chancellor and give her a shake. So it happened 3 times, and each of them was similar to what I felt the day I imagined it.
Let's talk about your parents, your family, your mom and your dad.
Yeah.
Especially your mom, that you were concerned about how she feel in the light of all you were going through. How did it feel for them the day you were on the pinnacle?
So on the day she didn't want to go. I don't know why, but she didn't want to. But last me, I pulled her along. So we got there. And I think partly, UG graduation of late, you would have to take just 2 people in. And I had given one to my pastor, one to my dad. So she didn't know how she would fit in if she goes there. So finally, I still took her along. Fast forward, she gets in as well with everybody, and everything happens. She was talking to one of the people interviewing, and I could see her crying. And it was pure joy for her that day. I was equally very happy that I had attained something that could make my mom and my dad equally proud.
Give a shout out to them.
Yeah, big shout out. They've been very intrinsic in my journey.
Mention their names.
So Reverend Ephraim Ayeh Oracca-Tetteh, and then
mention the full name. That's what you think. I saw it. And then your mom.
That's Naomi Oracca-Tetteh. So yeah,
Peter and Naomi.
Yeah,
they must be very proud watching you and listening to you today.
Yeah.
Tell me, way forward, what's next for you, Ephraim?
Okay. So I'm working on a book. It's done. I think last week Friday I received a call that the National Council on Curriculum and Assessment were done with the letter of approval. So hopefully the book will be out maybe in the course of the year.
What's it about?
It's about using the imagination to learn as well. So the title is Imaginative Learning for A+ Performance.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So that aside, that's more like a short term. So I'm equally looking forward to applying to schools. And I don't know, it's been my dream to just do everything down here. But it looks like things don't want to work out the way it wants to. So maybe I'd have to apply outside. I applied to UG again for the law school. Unfortunately, I didn't get in. These are all challenges sometimes, but how you would surmount it sometimes is the way forward, or that's the joy in the long run. So I didn't get in, but I'm hoping to apply to schools outside. If I get in a school here too, that's ready, I would equally go in for it.
So the book that you've written, what do you want to achieve with the book?
So the essence of it is, one, you can use things you already know to learn the new things you are learning. So that's the first idea. So the things you already know, like alphabets, you can use alphabets to create acronyms for yourself. Right. And you can then use that to do new things you are learning. So if I remember, there was a roig beef, maybe to specialize the colors of light. So I know that roig beef means red, orange. So you use things you already know. That's literally the essence of it. The second is to challenge you that it's not always what the lecturers are feeding you. That's not all the teachers are feeding you. It's not the only way to maybe solve a problem they are giving you. There are definitely other means of probably going around it to equally arrive at that destination.
I have no doubt it will be a good one. No doubt at all, because the subject is one that is very needed. In fact, let me do this. I have a copy of my when our first book became a bestseller, we wrote a book called Becoming a Best-Selling Author.
Okay.
So if you might know your content is world-class even before you publish it. So stretch out your right hand, let me give you those. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. So let's shake hands. There we go.
God bless you.
Amen. 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 So let this book also guide you in the positioning and the marketing aspect, especially because good content needs to be promoted. Yes. I'm going to send you a digital copy, actually. Okay. This is just symbolic. I'll send you a digital copy.
Yes.
So you can read it with the assistive learning and enjoy it.
Sure.
No stopping. There's no stopping.
Thanks very, very
I just love your story.
Thanks very, very, very
What would you say to persons with disability that tend to sometimes focus on the barriers in their way instead of the opportunities available to them.
The barriers, honestly, they'll always be there. And what you do in terms of focusing on them would make you or unmake you. So it would only take you to probably look beyond that barrier. And maybe your goal or whatever you wish to attain might be waiting for you. If I should have stayed back and said, I can't see now, maybe I have nothing to do for myself again, maybe there's no option out there. I finally had to go and find out what could be done. And that's when I went to learn what I have to. If I should have just focused on the barrier, I might not have seen those other opportunities. So maybe shift your sight from that barrier, look beyond to something else, which might be the goal, and you might be successful at that as well. So
it's obvious because I can presume that in your work as organizing secretary and PRO of the Students with Special Needs Campus Association, these are some of the thoughts you shared with them.
sure.
You remind me very much of my friend Adelaide this year. She sat in the same chair and she just was unstoppable. She believed so much, and it just is encouraging. It's encouraging. Tell me, what would be the one big takeout, one big idea you would leave on this table for anyone who wants to live out their dreams, especially those who tend to be limited by one disability or another?
My first maybe suggestion would be for you to be a learner. So find out or research more. With the help of technology, you can access anything, anywhere. It's a matter of typing in or keying in the right search. And if you're able to find these opportunities, don't hesitate to equally put yourself in there. So your phones are a big resource for you. If you're able to access it through any means, find out opportunities for you. If you get those opportunities, make sure you make attempts at getting them. That would be one for them. That be a learner. Try finding out. I'd also say you should improve yourself to a large extent, because it's only self-development that can make you worth it for others. So find our situation makes us feel some way or puts us in a certain light. But if you're able to make something for yourself, there is no one who wouldn't like to associate with you or respect you. So make something out for yourself as well. Maybe these two would be.
And then on the broader societal front, how can we make education, how can we make society more inclusive to give a chance to people who are rising themselves in spite of their disabilities?
Okay. So I realize there is now a shift from maybe the normal education stuff to more of what they call the STEM or set areas. So science, technology, maths, what have you, engineering. Now, you would find that persons with disability are not, especially for the visually impaired, they are not able to actively partake in these courses, because from the onset, there is maybe a cast out field for them. You would often find almost most visually impaired finishing school and want to enter into the law space. And this is maybe because that opportunity has been given to them within the science field. If more research could be done within how to equally accommodate persons with disability within the areas of science technology, because that's the next, let's say, era we are in.
Okay.
Yeah. So for us to actively participate in that as well, there needs to be some sort of inclusion within that space, such that from I know as a child that maybe if I want to grow and I want to be in the technology space and I'm a person with disability, I can't, because I mean there's that research, there's this person who has been able to do it, and I can get in there.
Have you started using artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
You're current.
Yeah.
You're strong, because vision surpasses sight.
Sure.
What will be your closing thoughts for our viewers and listeners?
Closing thoughts. Let me say it's maybe I'll leave two of my very powerful foundations for myself. So one is memento mori, and the other one is memento homo. Now, memento mori means that know that you will die someday. So if you are dead and gone, what would be that legacy you've left behind? What would be that change you brought whilst you left within that short space you left? What's right or wrong things are you doing? Know them and make sure you are doing the right thing. Now, memento homo means I'm only human. And it only also means things might come your way as a human. You might fall sick. You might be at flaw in certain areas of your life. But these things shouldn't stop you. They should still keep you going. So that would be my last thought.
From what language?
I think Latin.
Memento mori and memento homo. On those very powerful Latin words about legacy, about right, and about, in a sense, vulnerability, but progress, I want to bring this discussion with Ephraim Ayeh Oracca-Tetteh to an end. Thank you. Let's shake hands. Thank you so much for coming to Springboard Virtual University.
God bless you. God bless you.
Indeed. God bless you too. And this has been Springboard, your virtual university, our Thinkathon series about the power of ideas. And today's ideas have not just been about disability, but about rising above them and finding superior ways to learn and add value to yourself. This has been brought to you by Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a partnership between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard. Let me say a big thank you to our media partners, Joy FM, Joy News Television, Springboard Channel on YouTube, and the Graphic Communications Group. My name, as always, Albert Ocran, saying God bless you, and God bless you.
Turn around. Turning point. Yeah.